Welcome to Ithaca Politics, a series of shows that looks at the political life of Ithaca, New York. On this episode, we welcome the one write-in candidate we could find, Will Metro, who identifies himself as the common sense Republican, running again for the mayoral seat. Will, you have the distinction of beating the current mayoral candidate, Robert Cantalmo, by one write-in vote in the previous mayoral election. You think you can work this electoral magic this time around and gain that mayoral seat?
Yeah, I believe I can. I put out a campaign ad, and it's gotten like over 1,000 plays on Instagram, and it's gotten a lot of plays and views on YouTube. But I am probably the only candidate that is not involved with any sort of scandal in the mayoral spot, and I believe I am the only one that actually has the common sense solutions to solve all the issues that the current leadership has caused.
Well, I haven't heard of any scandals. Is there something you're privy to that you can reveal?
The former mayor Savante was involved with he was working with the Reimagine movement to supposedly reimagine our public safety, and there was a big scandal over that with the way that they were putting in policies, and there was the issue of outside money being paid to those people.
I guess I'm thinking about Robert Cantalmo and Janice Kelly. You mentioned a scandal, but there's nothing about them directly.
Nothing about them directly.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Well, I did ask those two electoral candidates about why this job as mayor is particularly attractive, because it has a 50% pay cut and very diminished responsibilities. Most people walking into a job like that would kind of say, "Uh-oh, what's the future here?" So why is this particular job attractive to you?
Well, I think that what they have done with the mayoral position, as far as what they have assigned, they have assigned a new position of the city manager, which I think is ridiculous, because you don't need a city manager. That's the mayor's job. And they want to slash the mayor's job and just basically sideline the mayor and make him just a figurehead. And that I think is ridiculous. And I think that if I become mayor, I'll be able to change all that. If anything, we need a mayor and a deputy mayor, someone who can step in when the mayor can't do his job. But as far as I heard from that, they've slashed the mayor's salary like almost in half, and they gave the city manager like a better salary.
Yeah, I think they're starting at $160,000, $160,000 to $180,000.
That's like really ludicrous. I'm like, you don't need a city manager. That's the mayor's job.
Well, it is a little curious that you're running for the position in hopes of perhaps overturning the city manager's job, because this was voted in by referendum, and most of council seem to be behind it. Can you make a good argument that they should overturn this position?
Yeah. Because if I was mayor, I'd be the most proactive mayor that this city has ever had, and I'd be involved with everything that the mayor is supposed to do, and that includes like all of the stuff that they want the city manager to do. I mean, you don't split that in half, and just because that just gives the mayor just like a lot of free time, I mean, who needs? To your argument, who needs a mayor when you have a city manager? But but you don't need a city manager.
Well, I was sort of wondering if this is a long-term game of whether the mayor is actually going to be phased out by diminishing responsibilities. But I guess that's a question for another day. So you would like to take on the role of actually managing the city workforce, which the city administrator would be doing. How would you change things, do you think, that have existed for a long time with the city?
Yeah. Well, that includes like public works and also the police force and being involved with our public safety. I've talked to the police department and they're short staff. They're really short staffed because of what Savante did. By shrinking the police force and caving to the protesters and basically just saying that he didn't even want a police force, and he got sued by some of the police officers because of the way he treated them.
So that would be your priority, is beefing up the police force.
Yeah, helping them build up. I know it's kind of hard for them to function and hire more because you probably have to get people from other precincts and some of those people probably don't want to work in Ithaca.
Well, I think according to the mayor, the new civil service lists are looking pretty optimistic in terms of the number of people that are taking the test, and I guess with the new contracts, it does seem to be more attractive to work in Ithaca than it has been.
But from what I've been told, too, the current mayor, Laura Lewis, she didn't even want to negotiate contracts with the police department, at first, but they just had a celebration for the police force last week, and all of the members of the police force were in Center Ithaca, for breakfast, and it was a celebration to honor the police department, and but you gotta envy them. They go through a lot, but they're just doing their job, and the current leadership and the former leadership really downgraded them and made it harder for them to adequately do their job. So.
Well, we were talking a little bit about the Commons before the show started. Now, you've been on the Commons a long time. You make your living on the Commons, so you've seen quite a bit of what goes on there.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned before that it does seem like a public space that has gotten pretty despairing. Outside of more police presence, is there anything that you can see that can turn the Commons around to be a more or less leisurely place that it used to be?
As also part of my campaign is not only to build up the police force, but also to eliminate the drug zones. Here there's a lot of people on drugs and stuff, and they have a weed dispensary in the middle of the Commons now on the West End, and now that doesn't make things any better, and because people are bringing drugs on the Commons like crack and other stuff, and it's like not really good. And then when Savante was mayor, he had that boneheaded idea of implementing a so-called safe heroin injection site, in Ithaca, where people can shoot up and not get in trouble, for for that, and it's just not a good idea, and it's like, so I want to eliminate the drug zones.
Drug zones, you meaning places where people are using?
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides police enforcement, are there any other ideas besides doing that?
And I want to implement opportunity zones. Just put in a place where people can go to actually acquire themselves, apply themselves, get themselves self-sufficient and in the mindset of entrepreneurship, so, because a lot of these people need help with their addiction problem, but they also need help, recognizing their full potential. So if they got into the frame of mind of being business minded, budget and business minded, they would get off the mindset of drugs and get themselves more productive, get into the more productive frame of mind.
Would you encourage more social programs then to help people with rehabilitation? I mean, does this also tie in with housing to make more housing available for people?
Well, it's not in the sense of DSS and the welfare program, because when you have people on welfare, the welfare system isn't helping these people, because everybody on welfare is living in poverty, because they go on a budget, and if you get a job outside their budget, they cut your services, but the whole point of getting a job is so you don't have to be on the system, But my plan is when you encourage entrepreneurship or entrepreneurialism, with entrepreneurialism, it eliminates two things: homelessness and poverty. So it takes people out of poverty and makes them more productive and getting themselves a better life for themselves.
I guess I'm just wondering how the entrepreneurship gets started.
Well, I have a part of my business is not just the magic and stuff, but I also teach people how to become entrepreneurs, and the way I get them started is I have them take the entrepreneurial quiz, which is only 3 questions to ask and answer about yourself to help you start your own business. And the first question is, what comes easy to you but harder for others? And the second question is, what would you do nonstop even if you never got paid for it? And the third question is, how can you be of service to people and still give back to others? Because it only takes an idea to start a business, and you get people in the frame of mind of brainstorming and getting themselves in a better position, then you can put those ideas to work for you.
So as mayor, you could see this being applied on a citywide basis? These
Yeah.
3 principles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I would close that facility that they have to put these people on shooting up and stuff, But I would I would make that place into a opportunity zone where they can go in there. I would actively be involved in helping them recognize their full potential and go through the process of helping them start their own business.
Well, that would certainly be an interesting direction for a mayor to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you could be the example yourself, because what I know of you, you've been in a place of being homeless, and you've largely pulled yourself up, as I understand it, you
Yep.
know, following these particular principles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you know, homelessness is a pretty heavy issue now in Ithaca. But I guess I wonder, from your perspective, what would be the answer in terms of trying to work through the homeless problem that Ithaca's facing?
Well, from what I understand about the jungle is there are like out of control camping out there, and they are like ruining the land out there, and there's been some issues with drugs and murder out there. It's not exactly the safest place to go now, and but you know there was this idea that somebody floated around to me that maybe they should pay rent for the space that they're occupying over there, and then that money could go to preserving the land, you know, making it look better, you know, out there.
Well, I think the idea is, as a pilot for 1 year, they want to also provide supportive services for the people that would be in the jungle. That's part of the sanctioning, and hopefully move them into perhaps supportive housing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it kind of gets back to maybe what you're talking before, was using more of a social service model to be helping people.
Well, yeah. It's not exactly like DSS. Because what DSS does is just encourage a lazy mentality at which they do provide housing, but they also limit the money that people receive from the government. So it's like, and they're also encouraging people not to work. So it's not really a good thing. So what I'm applying is not to go on the system and stay on the system. I'm suggesting that they go to this place where they can actually learn how to do for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and then become entrepreneurs.
Right, what you
Yeah.
spoke of before.
Yep.
So it sort of ties together
Yeah.
people that are homeless, also that people may have drug addictions, that if they can get into the mindset of
Yeah.
self-sufficiency and entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit here. The Cornell pilot, the recent agreement for Cornell and the city. Cornell will be paying $4 million a year over a 15-year period. What do you think of this agreement?
I was surprised at it, that they were forced to pay more, you know. But
You mean Cornell was forced to pay more?
yeah. But you know what they got out of it, I was surprised out of it, you know. But I guess I feel good that they're actually paying something, but at the same time, what it took them to to get there, like all of the people protesting. I mean, there was a protest down the Commons that they had a banner that said, "Cornell owes Ithaca," So so I guess that's what led to the agreement, So, but
There has been talk among some council members that there should be some legal actions taken statewide to reduce Cornell's tax exemption. And they're considering going in that direction. As mayor, can you see leading that charge to address this issue statewide?
Well, I've always had an issue with taxes, and how much and what percentage of that people should be taxed, and I've always felt that if you want to make it easier for people to get ahead in life, you lower their taxes, but from what I understand is a lot of times the city has raised property taxes, and they've raised school taxes, and this is no different with Cornell. They are trying to lift their tax exempt status so Cornell actually contributes and pays more to Ithaca. Yeah.
But I guess the argument is that so many Ithacans are paying so much higher, they have a much higher tax burden because so much of Ithaca, Cornell's property is tax exempt. So the average person would actually be paying less in taxes if Cornell paid their fair share, or through state legislation were required to pay more.
Yeah. I mean, I would be for maybe some sort of tax if it helped the city budget, and if that money went to something that's not nonsensical, because a lot of times the city when they allocate the budget or go over the budget, a lot of our tax dollars are going to something like nonsensical, and it's not good for the city. And alongside of that, I want to go through the budget, of the city and eliminate anything that we don't need.
Well, let me ask you this. I've always considered you to be pretty self-sufficient. I see you walk just about everywhere and use the sidewalks and the roads quite a bit. What do you think
I
of
take the buses too.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think of the safety of the city streets? Do you think there should be more movement to make things pedestrian friendly? I mean, a big issue came up recently is DPW said, no, we can't clear the snow from sidewalks and curb cuts. We just don't have that the means to do it. Do you feel this is the role of government or the role of the city to provide more safe passage for people other than just cars?
Yeah, well, I think also, because I think when I used to live in Trumansburg, the city would plow the sidewalks too, not just the roads. They would also do the sidewalks too, and there's a big question of whether or not the city is responsible for the sidewalks in front of people's homes and stuff like that, and especially when it snows, there's been times where even the back roads were not plowed right, you know, the city needs to be up on that, you know. So, but I do think that a lot of places around here have become unsafe in that regard.
City streets and sidewalks.
Yeah.
Mm. So would that be a priority of yours as mayor?
Yeah. Yeah. And we also need to do something about the potholes in the roads. Yeah. And because there's an area like on the intersection where Capitol Corner is, you know, but there's a big dip in that intersection when people go in, you know, that needs to be. There's a lot of roads that need to be repaved. You know, I'm like, if you want to fix a road, fix Tioga. You know, you don't need a speed hump every 12 feet. You know, get rid of the speed humps in Tioga. You know, make all these roads like flat and paved. You know.